and welcome to this installment of Frank and Mary here on Nantucket. For those of you who haven't seen the show before, my name is Art Bergeron. I'm an elder law attorney at Myrick O'Connell, biggest firm outside of Boston. I do nothing but elder law. There are 70 of us. I do presentations at the Salt Marsh on law topics. This show has nothing to do with elder law. It has everything to do with my friends Frank and Mary. If you've been to any of my presentations, you know that Frank and Mary and their kids, Peter, Paul, and Mary Jr. Frank and Mary lives here. Frank and Mary live here. They want to live in their house until they die and be buried in the backyard. And if they're living here, that means their backyard here. They don't want to move away. They don't want to go to San Francisco. They don't want to go to San Diego. They want to stay here. So the purpose of this show is to let you know, if you're like Frank and Mary, who the people are that you need to know and what the programs are that you need to know about in order to stay right where you are and live the rest of your life right here. So Alison Forsgren is my terrific co-host because she knows everybody, and so she invites these great guests to talk about these things. Alison, who do we have today?
Today we have the Chair of the Council on Aging, Mary Ann Easley.
So Mary Ann, before you start talking about the Expo part, can you just tell me about, my question always is like, how did you end up being here? Because, you know, I'm not from here. Are you from here? Are you?
No, I'm a wash ashore.
Yet another?
Like so many.
Yes. And how did you find your way to Nantucket?
My sister.
Boat broke down? No?
My sister lives on the North Shore of Boston, and
that's close.
Close enough. She brought me and my husband here one year during the summer, and we all fell in love with Nantucket, and we kept coming back every summer after that for about 12 years.
Yeah.
And after 12 years, we decided we wanted our own place here. So once we had our own house, and things started to change for us in San Francisco, where we had lived for 30 years. We came here one summer and just never went back to San Francisco.
You just never went back to San Francisco. Boy, and San Francisco is nice.
Yes,
right?
It is.
Right?
But Nantucket is nicer.
But Nantucket is really, really nice. And so you've been here full time for how many years?
Almost 20 years.
Almost 20 years. Wow, you must have been about 10 when you first arrived.
Right.
That's a long time ago. That's great.
I finally accepted that I was a senior when I turned 72.
Oh, yeah. See, I'm coming. I'm going to be 70 next year. Right.
Mary Ann, take it away. Tell us what you have planned for
this is new. This was always used to be,
The Elder Expo has been going on for 12 years. This will be the 13th year. And this is the first time we've ever collaborated with Nantucket Cottage Hospital, and we're really excited because even though it's been very successful and popular among seniors, we think it's going to be twice as good this year in the brand new hospital. And with the collaboration of all of the staff at the hospital, we've been meeting pretty much every Monday to plan this event, and we get more excited every week. It's great.
That's terrific. And I've always said that this is pretty much every Council on Aging or Senior Center has one of these events. And so inevitably I've been to a lot of these. This is the only one that I really love. Of all of the, there's a tremendous sense of community there. It's like people actually kind of, introduce you to other people, and it's just wonderful. It's wonderful.
I hope you come this year.
Oh, I'm coming.
Oh, he's a vendor, so he's
coming.
There with his.
I'm always there. I got my little table.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Right. And because this will be open to people of all ages, I hope families will come, 2 or 3 generations, so they can help each other find the vendors they need and learn more about what the whole family might need.
That's great. So who's going to be there? Who's going to be?
Well, we have some popular things returning. One of the main events, of course, is always flu shots. So we plan on having flu shots this year, which are free to anybody with an insurance card. And this year we'll be offering them to not just seniors, but to people of all ages.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, that's an always popular draw.
So it's not just a Medicare card, right?
Correct.
It's all kinds
Everybody will be eligible
But
this
you
year.
have to bring an insurance card.
Correct. The other popular person who's returning is Greg Margolis, who is the chef manager of the Corner Table and the cooking school. And he's always been very popular with seniors. I think everybody will love him. The last couple of years, he's done demonstrations on using leftovers And he has great ideas for cutting corners. I appreciated that from him because you don't have to start by making a whole chicken yourself. You can go to Stop and Shop and buy an already cooked chicken and start from there.
I love his cooking for one or cooking for two. I mean, how do you mix it up with what you have on hand?
What you have on hand, that's the main thing. And he is very entertaining. He's very welcoming of questions. He's a great presenter of information. And he shares what he's cooked, so everybody gets to taste.
He shares. So is he cooking there?
So he's cooking there. And this year he'll be in a big fancy kitchen at the new hospital instead of on his little hot plate.
Oh, so it's actually going to, people are going to actually be in the kitchen? So you get to see the new brand new kitchen?
Actually, you will get to see the whole new hospital facility because the expo will take place on 2 floors. It'll be on the first floor in the very large new entrance area, and then upstairs there's a long hallway that goes all the way from the exterior of maternity all the way down past the kitchen and the cafeteria area, and it'll encompass some of the conference rooms that are in the administrative area because we'll have speakers in those conference rooms. So there will be a lot to choose from.
By the way, for us, once again, for us Outlanders who were used to the old hospital, this is also good because you learn where everything is in the new hospital now, right?
Not everything, but you'll learn some things.
You'll learn some things. You'll learn some things.
It's the hospital is pretty overwhelming. It's very new and seems very large compared to the old hospital. I know it isn't that much larger, but because of the placement of departments, it can be overwhelming.
It's big. And we've had Greg, Alison invited Greg to one of our shows a while ago. And he's terrific.
That was a great show.
He's always good.
Terrific.
Yeah.
And so there is an elevator going up and down, so people who would not want to walk the stairs have access. But I think it'll be a nice spread of vendors and things to do on both floors. So
Yes, so we've already have vendors who are signing up for this year. Many of them bring items that you can take away for free, and they're always there to talk about their services. So looking at it from an elder's point of view, you can learn about services that you may not be aware of that you can take advantage of.
Right. And I will say, as a vendor, that one of the things I like about it is that I get to meet the other vendors. I think that was really where I first met folks from PASCOM.
yeah.
It's where I first met folks from, what is the assisted living that's right on
Sherburne
Main
Commons?
That's right on
the
Main
Homestead.
From the Homestead, right? And so, and as a matter of fact, I remember sitting next to a lady who was working in development at the hospital, helping to raise the money that they were doing for the hospital, who was also on that board at the Homestead. So it's just a really, and I ended up following up with some of those folks regarding kind of some other things.
Well, since people wear multiple hats and the various things, it is a great place to put 2 and 2 together.
Right.
So.
Right. So even to vendors who might not have signed up yet,
Right.
they ought to really be thinking about it. Right.
You know, from an elder point of view, there are 2 groups that I hope we can reach out to more. And the first group is those people who don't necessarily come to the Salt Marsh and take advantage of all the programs at the Salt Marsh. They may be too shy, or they may have impediments to overcome in order to get there. I hope they'll come to the Health Fair and Elder Expo and learn how they can begin to participate and integrate into the Salt Marsh. The other group of people I hope we reach out to are those who have English as a second language. And last year we started to reach out to through the churches to those people. We had Spanish-speaking people on hand to help out, and this year we'll have the advantage of the hospital who have translators in a couple of different languages for people who can feel more comfortable in their first language and don't necessarily feel comfortable in English.
That's a really good point.
I hope they'll come.
And once again, then those folks, if they don't know them, will get introduced to those people, even in terms of going to the hospital, in terms of being more comfortable if there's an issue.
Correct.
Because it's always scary. I mean, you know, I think I speak Spanish. Ask me if I could describe any single ailment, right, in Spanish, or any, you know, like, oh, it really hurts my, you know, right. So the notion of knowing there's somebody there on the other side who can do that in English is just like really.
And I think having the whole family be invited at the same time will help people, you know, will help everybody actually. Yeah. And in the same vein, if you want to volunteer, we still have room for people who would like to come and help out. There'll be a number on the screen that you can call if you'd like to sign up for that.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, thank you. This is really educational.
Yeah, Marian, thank you very much for coming and for your work on the Council on Aging and the committee to work on this fabulous new expo.
It's been fun.
Yeah, it has.
Thanks, Alison.
You'll find
Arthur.
out. You'll find out in a couple of weeks if it's been a lot of fun. Good luck.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Our next guest we'll introduce in a few minutes. Welcome back to the show. For the second half, we have the Vice President of Development and Community Relations at the Nantucket Cottage Hospital, Courtney O'Neill, here to talk about
guys.
the hospital's participation in the Elder Expo this year.
And a little bit about the hospital. And first, a little bit about you. So I as the president who am not from here, always get to ask, like, so how did you get here? Right? I know how I got here. How did you get here? So are you one of those rare people, a local?
No,
No,
unfortunately
good.
I'm not.
You're
but
with me. That's good. So,
yeah, I moved here to work in retail. My mother's friend was opening a store, and I came, which I thought was going to be 1 year. That was in 1993.
Yeah, that's a standard. Everybody came here for like a week,
Exactly.
and then all of a sudden they said, "Oh, who put this here?" Right,
Yeah.
and then they kind of
Yeah.
stayed.
I even I sublet my room in Boston, and then after about 6 months, I called them and I said, "I'm not coming back."
Right.
Yeah, and I've been here ever since.
That's great.
Been at the hospital 12 years.
Wow.
Oh, you've been at
Yeah.
the hospital a long
Yeah,
time too.
yeah.
And now, were you always doing development at the hospital? If you did other
Yes,
stuff?
I started off doing the community relations events. So the health fair was one of my very first things that I worked on when I started at the hospital, and the POPs and all of the different events that we put on throughout the year. And then worked my way up through those 12 years to now be vice president. So it's pretty amazing.
Well, that's very
Yeah.
exciting. That's very exciting.
And you can tell you love your job.
I
so
love my job.
That's great.
Yeah, yeah.
You're lucky.
I love the hospital. You know, I love the people I work with. We're really fortunate to have those caregivers on island.
Yeah, and it's important to everybody here because
Yeah.
boy, it's a
Yeah.
long.
It's
you
the
get
great
sick,
unifier. Like
it's
we
a
all-
long trip if you don't have somebody
Exactly.
here, right?
You need to have that safety net.
Right.
And now you're in the big new building. That must be quite fun too. So explain to us what's going on with the health fair.
So with the health fair, we this has been something that we've had for many years. We were really fortunate. About 15, 20 years ago, the Sacerdote family gave us a donation that would perpetually let us have a annual health fair. And their primary focus was always cancer screenings. And so we always make sure that there's an element of that. There's cancer education. That's always part of our health fair. And we're excited this year to team up with the Elder Expo to really expand our, demographic reach, maybe expand some of our offerings. We're going to have many of our caregivers and providers available. And education is really important, making sure people understand what we provide, what they can access on island, latest and greatest kind of information, health information, but also, day-to-day things that they need to know, especially elders. There's so much. And with the new building, it can be overwhelming. And so it's good I think it'll be nice to bring people into the building, have them experience it, and really be able to find their way around and learn what we do.
Just to have them be comfortable in that building.
Absolutely.
So I guess I had missed that part. So you folks have always done a health fair?
Yes.
But which was for all ages.
Correct.
And so now you're just kind of blending them. So
Yes.
so as
Yeah.
a result, the crowd could be
Yeah.
quite different.
And
right? This time.
honestly, the health fair was always in the hospital. But during this construction period over the last several years, we've had it off-site. We've had it at the Nantucket Yacht Club. And so bringing it back to the building, kind of coming home, being in the place where we deliver care, I think it's going to be really wonderful.
Now, have you always do you continue to do free cancer screenings here?
So every October we provide mammogram screenings for eligible women.
I see.
So there's a criteria set, but yes, for people that can't afford it, we make that available. And we'll have a table at the health fair, the Elder Expo Health Fair, that will explain all the different options.
That's pretty terrific.
Yeah.
And I know that we had talked about some of the program folks that are actually going to be doing kind of presentations there. Are there any particular presentations that are going to be like hospital
Yeah, there's a few that are very, and it's been great. We've been doing lots of planning meetings and hearing the feedback and hearing what people want. One of the requests, and we're going to have it, is we do a lot of telemedicine, and some people don't understand what that is, and it can seem very overwhelming. But the physician is actually on the television, and you're speaking to them. They're not in the room. The nurse is in the room with you. So we're going to do a presentation with the physician on the television so that the people that come can sort of see what that is like, experience it in a more calm setting. So it's not in the moment of when they actually need the care, so they can kind of understand how that works and ask questions.
Yeah, and somehow that will turn out to be advantageous for people because they'll be able to see specialists that aren't necessarily on the island.
Right.
And it's something that everyone will benefit from, but a little scary when you think about how's that guy gonna?
Yeah, how's he gonna know?
Yeah. How's he gonna figure out what's going on? But, there is someone in the room with them, and it's a really exciting and great way to connect the Nantucket Cottage Hospital to providers that aren't necessarily here. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things, telemedicine has been really on the rise for rural healthcare. And we are rural, whether we realize it or not, we're 30 miles out, we know that. Right. So being able to remotely access some of the best people in the world is pretty amazing.
Now, can you just, once again, as an outline, right? How does it work? If someone were coming in and doing the telemedicine,
right.
do you have a special room?
So here's a prime example of what we do, which happens regularly, and it's something that we do currently. If you arrived at the emergency department and were presenting with the signs of a stroke, we immediately would call up the telestroke department at Mass General, and a physician who's an expert in dealing with strokes immediately comes up on the screen. We also have the physician in the room and nursing staff right there with you, monitoring your vitals, doing all the testing, but the clinician's on the television, and you're able to speak to them if you can, and they can monitor your care and recommend what the best course of action is. The physician can consult with them in real time. And so all the care that needs to be done immediately for your safety is able to be performed. So.
And they can view you too, so they can see what's going on.
We have a great patient testimonial of a gentleman that said he remembers speaking to the physician in the ER on the screen, and when he woke up at Mass General, the guy was standing by his bedside.
Come on. That's so cool.
So he gave him a sense of calm and comfort to know that there was that continuity of care.
And that physician, during that consultation, as you said, it's two ways. So that physician actually is seeing your vitals and things?
Seeing the vitals, everything. It's very cool. It's very, space agey feeling, which is why we wanted to have the presentation to get that sort of fear factor away so people aren't intimidated by the thought of it.
And now you said there was some other staff from Nantucket Hospital that were also doing some stuff?
Yes, so we usually have our dermatology screenings. That's very popular. People will have to sign up for that. That usually fills up very fast.
Oh, because that would be happening at the fair also.
Correct. We usually will have vision screening, hearing screening. We often have done some screenings for gait and balance. So folks that might have questions about just maybe with our physical therapy department, questions that they might have, whether they're a runner. Sometimes runners want to know, am I running properly for my body type? And then others, it might be something where they're starting to feel that their walking is becoming problematic, so they can be assessed.
And there will also be a memory screening.
Correct.
That will be, you'll need to sign up for in advance.
Yeah. And we are hopeful, we haven't confirmed it yet, but we're hopeful to have a speaker, Alzheimer's, a gentleman that wrote a book. He has early onset Alzheimer's, and he's remarkable. His name's Greg O'Brien. So we're going to, there's going to be more information coming, and we'll get it out there. It'll be on our website. So nantuckethospital.org will be a good place to find that.
I'm just curious, was Greg O'Brien the person who worked for the Boston Herald?
He did. Yeah.
So I heard him speak once, and there was this line that he gave regarding the hardness of going through living with Alzheimer's. He said it's as if your brain was like an onion, and you wake up every morning and one little peel has come off. Right, and it's like it's always, and it's not huge. It's just like one little peel, but he's
Right.
just a wonderful, compelling
I
speaker.
saw him speak this spring as well, and he,
Yeah.
you know,
Because he's riveting,
Yeah.
and he's been doing it now for several years as he's been going through this.
Right.
and it's harder and harder for him to do it, but he continues to do it, and he's just totally dedicated to this.
He's
wonderful.
on one of our he's on our marketing committee as a volunteer, and he's a really wonderful resource. He's got some really great advice, and he's worked out all these tricks for himself so that he can be an active participant. So
Right, and that's what you start doing.
Yeah.
I find myself doing this already. So there are a number of things for which you can sign up. So how do you do that exactly? Don't tell me you have to go online.
well, that's the easiest way.
Oh.
But you can call our office as well, 508-825-8250.
Yeah, and if you go online, you're just clicking on
nantuckethospital.org, and we actually have on the homepage a screen about, you can just click right on it, about the Elder Expo. It'll be one of the landing pages.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
and so you can sign up for the clinics.
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah. We'll be rolling that out, but please, we would love for people to call us, just ask questions at our phone number. Again, that's 508-825-8250.
That's very exciting. Now I have to ask, because she's the development person. So are you going to be raising money there too, or is everything there for free?
No, this is
Everything?
all free. This is, we love doing, I mean, as I mentioned, we were fortunate to have a donation that sort of started this off, and it's an endowment. So every year we're able to provide this thanks to the Sacerdote family. But this is our chance to give back.
This
And-
is just another classic
And the
Nantucket
Nantucket
thing, right?
Council on Aging, who supports
Absolutely.
the Council on the Nantucket Center for Elder Affairs supports the Nantucket Council on Aging, and they have provided us a budget as well, us being the Council on Aging. So we're
Yeah, it's a true
we're-
collaboration.
Yep.
Financially as well. So
Yeah, we're combining, and many of the vendors and providers are, have been to both the Elder Expo and the Nantucket Cottage Hospital Health Fair, so it's sort of making it a little easier for them to attend
Right.
one big event instead of two smaller ones. So
right,
it's
because
very
so many of
exciting.
those folks donate their time. They come
From off island?
from off island, and so this will be nice. They can come one time,
Yep.
and hopefully see more people.
Well, yeah, now I get to go to the health fair. This is very exciting. So once again, another big score for Alison Forskin, another great guest. This has just been terrific. It's just been
Thank you so
wonderful.
much for having me.
Wonderful to meet you. Do you want to tell them that we're closing? Do you want me to tell them?
You can say it.
So thank you very much for watching again, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next installment of Frank and Mary here in Nantucket. Thank you very much.